Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you for being with me again today. This article that I have here has to do with Severodonetsk, Ukraine, where you might already know the Russians cut off the retreat of any Ukrainian army from the city, or at least from the eastern side of the city, most the biggest chunk of the city actually. And it seems like the remaining Ukrainian forces and civilians are trapped again in a plant, Azot plant, and by the Ukrainian reports, there are about 500 civilians. By other reports, there are about 1,300 civilians. It is unknown how many Ukrainian troops are caught over there, but nevertheless, the Russians destroyed the three bridges from Severodonetsk over the Severodonetsk River towards west, and I'm assuming that they already surrounded them. If they didn't surround the area, then because they say they're trapped over there. Now, if they're trapped over there, I don't know. I don't know how they couldn't swim across that little river. But nevertheless, I'm talking about the young, able Ukrainian military men, but maybe the Russians were able to encircle them already with their armies. So it's going to be Azovstal Mariupol plant, Azovstal plant in Mariupol, part number 2. It seems like I hope that the Ukrainians will be smarter, I say smarter, and avoid suffering and death, and they will not follow the same model as they did in the Azovstal model. So this article comes from Ukrainska Pravda from today, June 17th, 2022, and this is the title. Evacuation from Severodonetsk Azot plant is impossible. Head of Luhansk Oblast Military Administration. Well, if it's impossible, what else do you think you should do? Or what would be the normal procedure? You're not defending any military objective over there, like they stated with Azovstal. Yeah, they're defending military objective. What military objective? The Russians were bombarding Azovstal at will, and there was no Ukrainian army in sight coming to rescue them. So eventually, they obviously, after a lot of propaganda, they and suffering and death, they surrendered. But it's kind of impossible. It is kind of illegal to say that they surrendered. You have to say that they saved lives and received order to come out and exit the plant and come to the Russians and not surrender, but I don't know, whatever, euphemisms. So we have here Serhiy Haidai, the head of the Luhansk Oblast Military Administration, said that evacuation from the bomb shelters of the Severodonetsk Azot Association, the largest chemical plant in the city, is currently impossible. Quote from Haidai: "It is now impossible and physically dangerous to escape the territory of the plant due to constant shelling and fighting. There are 568 people in the bomb shelter, including 38 children." Details: Haidai added that it would only be possible to leave the plant with a complete ceasefire. At the same time, according to the head of the Luhansk Oblast Military Administration, Severodonetsk is not blocked. There is communication with the city. Is that what you mean? It's not blocked? That means they can communicate, uh, or it's not blocked because they can escape. And also there is a communication with the city. Anyway, it says here that the Russians are destroying the Azot plant. Both military and civilian people are hiding in the plant's shelters. On the morning of 14th June, the Russians hit the facilities of Severodonetsk Azot and Sklopliastik fiberglass and plastic plant. The head of the Luhansk Oblast Military Administration, Serhiy Haidai, said that Azot's shelters were not as strong as those of the Azovstal plant, which was a shelter for defenders and residents of Mariupol until the evacuation operation. Between 540 and 560 civilians remain in the bomb shelters of the Severodonetsk Azot Association, and the Russians are constantly firing at this facility. Yeah, they keep them over there, so they can't escape, obviously. Well, again, more destruction, more death, and strife and struggle. Um, those Ukrainians trapped over there will not, unless they're not encircled yet. I don't see how they will be able to be taken out, like not that kind of taken out, but airlifted or something like that. And I don't know how much how much they have in let's say resources, water, food, and at least it's not cold outside, so they can stay over there with no, the elements are not going to alter their health too much. And obviously, the danger of being hit by the Russians. So I would, I suspect and I suggest that those guys, the military, Ukrainian military, would contact the Russians and agree to a certain kind of exit, coming out, not a surrender, but coming out, and show themselves to the Russian army, and again start the process of vetting and interrogations, or how do you want to call them, interviewing, and then the process is obviously the weapons stripped down, cavity search as well, I'm assuming. Who knows, maybe they don't do that, but I think that's basic training, basic practice, but what do I know, right? So they and they interned somewhere, like the other guys from Azovstal. And obviously over there they will be conducted interviews. I'm talking about the military, not talking about the civilians, but sometimes military can change into civilian clothes and say, hey, we're civilians here. But you need documents and other things to prove that you're from there, and you say, oh, I lost them. Yeah, really? Okay. So this is another tragedy, and as I said, I don't see anything, I don't want to say anything good, but they will not be evacuated. They will not be helped to escape the encirclement as of now, and it proved in Azovstal in Mariupol that was a no-no. They tried with some helicopters over there, and I don't know if they will be trying the same thing here. I don't know how big this plant is in order for a helicopter to land. You might say, oh, well, you don't need as much, but to do a helicopter what? If you have at least 500 people, how many helicopters you need to airlift them? And that's children and probably old people and wounded and military. If you want to, how do you call it, airlift the important, wink, wink, military personnel, which would be some leaders or some commanders, let's put it this way, that might be Ukrainian, or it might be volunteers, or who knows what. Yeah, you can try that, but it's not going to be an evacuation of the bulk of people unless it's going to be the front moving eastward again. Well, we'll find out. I will keep an eye on this development, of course. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.